Nearly 15 million legal abortions have occurred in the United States.
22% of all U.S. pregnancies end in abortion.
57% of all abortions are from women ages 20 to 29.
47% of women who have had abortions have had at least one previous abortion.
At current rates, nearly 1/3 of American women will have an abortion.
In 2007, 84% of all abortions were done on unmarried women.
I asked 6 different questions to different people, all different ages, and I'm just going to say the summary of basically all the answers. First question is, do you know anyone who has had an abortion? Every single person except for 2 said they have, and most people say they know several people that have had abortions, and most of them have not just had one abortion, they've had several, just one woman has had several. The next question was, do you think if a woman is raped, she has a right to get an abortion? Across the board, everyone said yes. And then I would ask if it was a woman, I'd say, would you get an abortion if you were raped? And they all said yes. And all the men agreed too that if a woman is raped, she has the right. And then I asked for the third one: is abortion something that is easy or difficult to talk about for you? Most people said easy. It's not something they just bring up out of nowhere, but if the subject comes up, it doesn't make them uncomfortable and they're fine. And then the fourth question: if you became pregnant, and then I asked for the men, if your girlfriend became pregnant tomorrow, would you guys consider abortion? And I got a couple where they said, once you're old enough, you should be able to support that child. If you're together and you're in your late 20s, most people were saying that they should keep the baby, but the younger ones in their early 20s were saying they would get rid of it if they became pregnant tomorrow. And then the fifth question: has your view on abortion changed at all as you've gotten older and more educated? And I asked, if so, what was it then and why? And most people said it hasn't changed. They pretty much, what they thought when they were younger is the same beliefs they have now. There were a couple who said that they've eased up a little bit on it. They used to be, like myself, stricter about it, and the older they get, the more they realize women have their rights to do what they want. And then the sixth question was, can you see both the positive and negative sides of abortion? And most of them, they all said yes, they can see both of it. And the positives were generally that a woman gets to choose what she wants to do with her body, and it's nobody else's choice. And if she's an ill-fit mother or can't support it, she has the right to decide what she wants to do with her body for herself. And then the negatives were that a baby dies, and that most of them said the emotional trauma and the physical trauma that it might have to a woman in the long run. So that was the overall summary of the questions, and I thought it was really interesting that across the board most people agreed, and abortion was something that is very, very common, but people just don't talk about it. But most everyone knows someone who's had an abortion. So I thought the survey was really interesting, and I hope you do too.
Okay, so I did a survey where I had to interview a total of 42 people, and the first question was, it's okay to have an abortion. 14 people said agree, 11 people said neutral, 10 people said strongly agree, 4 people said disagree, and 3 people said strongly disagree. The second question is, women should have the right to make their own choice with their bodies. 30 people said strongly agree, 9 people said agree, and 3 people said neutral. For the strongly agree for the strongly disagree and the disagree, we didn't have any people that voted that. And then for the third question, if a woman is raped, it justifies abortion. 14 people said agree, 12 people said strongly agree, 11 said neutral, 3 said disagree, and 2 said strongly disagree. For the fourth question, every child should have a chance to live. 15 people said strongly agree, 13 people said agree, and 14 people said neutral. For the fifth question, if a woman is raped and gets pregnant, she should still have the baby. 17 people said neutral, 14 people said disagree, 6 people said strongly disagree, 3 people said strongly agree, and 2 people said agree. And for the sixth question, a woman's decision to have an abortion is hers and not anyone else's. 25 people said strongly agree, 10 people said agree, 3 people said disagree, 2 people said neutral, and 2 people said strongly disagree.
Bye. Hi.
Nearly 50 million legal abortions have occurred in the U.S.
22% of all U.S. pregnancies end in abortion.
57% of all abortions were attributed to women in the ages of 20 to 29.
47% of women who have had abortions have had at least one previous abortion.
At current rates, nearly 1/3 of American women will have an abortion.
In 2007, 84% of all women. Oh, fuck!
Nearly 50 million legal abortions have occurred in the United States.
Oh.
Damn it! Nearly 50 million legal abortions have occurred in the United States.
22% of all U.S. pregnancies end in